kind
Was
of
I
going, Louisa,
sound?
you were the nicest person ever. And I,
Oh my God. I mean, I must have been drunk.
guys, how are you keeping?
Good. How
Good,
are
thank
you?
you.
I'm good. Do you know what? I watched about 4 episodes in the last 24 hours. I ate it up. Are you ready for people to binge watch? Because that must be really cool to know that people are going to swallow it up when they get it.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean,
Yeah.
fingers crossed,
I didn't know until today actually that because it's all dropping at the same time. It's all
It is all
dropping so
dropping at the
people
same time.
can binge it, which is
It's Good Friday.
yeah. So yeah, people are going to be watching it over the Easter weekend for sure.
Yeah.
Louisa, I love how Good Friday, the straight in, it's a day off in Ireland. It's an
Straight in.
I feel very alienated here.
I
He was just
keep
like FM 10, and I was like, don't worry.
I've got this.
Well, do you know what? The last time I saw you, Louisa, I was in the Workman's Pub in Dublin. And I think Derry Girls had, I think, maybe one episode had come out. And my friend went on an all-nighter, and I met him at 12 o'clock to go and meet my family for dinner. And he was still mad on it. And we bumped into you, and he kept going, this girl, she's in this show. And I kind
Was
of
I
going,
sound?
you were the nicest person ever. And
Oh my God. I mean, I must have been drunk.
I said this on my breakfast show this morning. I was like, no, she's going to be grand because she had to deal with my friend Wayne, who was still drunk from the night before. Girl, she's destined for Hollywood. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's a big compliment. It's a big compliment.
About the show, guys, can I just ask about the outfits first of all? Were they comfortable? Is it a tougher role that you're having to dress up?
Well, you
Mine was, I mean, like,
harnessed.
yeah, because I was harnessed because I was on wires for a lot of it. So, like, to a degree, that is uncomfortable. But the actual costume, I mean, once you got used to it, you got used to it. But the costume did, because I was always on wires, the costume sort of allowed for the fact that I would be moving in a weird way and, flying about the place. So actually, the Billy costume itself wasn't that uncomfortable.
And you only get one.
And I was always in that.
Yeah.
So they made it as comfortable as they physically could without it sort of affecting the look of it.
Yeah, mine were good. I mean, I had a variety, but as in, my hero costume, like dressed as a man, incredibly comfortable. The coats were very heavy, and it made stunts a lot harder, a lot more difficult, and a lot more exhausting, and it made riding a horse a lot more uncomfortable. But no, I mean, they were so beautiful that you just took it on the chin, I think.
I love, when you're transformed. It's the best thing about, TV or movies like that you're transformed into a different world. What was that like for you guys actually being on the set? Like, was there a lot of visuals where you're going, Jesus, this is mad?
Yeah, it was, and I think it was, even just the process of Nell and Billy and all the Nell and Billy scenes. I would just have a couple of dots on my shoulder, and sometimes a tennis ball for reference, and that was it. No Nick Mohammed. Sometimes not even the other lines were being read to me. I would just leave the gap, and I'd be talking.
So we never filmed anything together on the show ever. It was always separate. But I was lucky because they had filmed a lot of Louisa's stuff, and so I had that as a reference, and so I could sort of match that. But yeah, I mean, it was quite daunting to a degree because it was, I guess neither of us had done much kind of VFX, sort of all that kind of style of work before.
And again, huge fan and respect for that side of our of it. It's just amazing, and stunts and just incredible. But yeah, and the sets that were built. I mean, even the apples that were on set, they looked so like Disney. You know what I mean? So all of that kind of like was very exciting.
So much work
in detail. Yeah.
Nick, I saw you tweeted something the other day. It was a picture of the promo. Does that ever get weird when you're walking down the street and seeing shows that you've worked on actually,
Oh yeah, it was
like,
yeah, we were actually in Richmond, and the reason why I took it there was that I remember there was a Ted Lasso poster that was there, and I had a picture taken in front of it. So my wife was like, "You should go stand it. Look, it's Renegade Nell." But the weirdest thing was like there were people just sort of stood in front of it for ages, and we didn't want to make a fuss about moving people out of the way. We had to wait till they got on the bus before I was like, "Hey, I'm like in this." And but yeah, no, it never gets normal. That I'm always like, oh, like that. Yeah.
My friend just sent me one. I think a big poster at Bellally Lewis stop, which was my Lewis stop. So
yeah, I heard. I don't know if this is true that marketing people often put them close to where you live, where the actors live, so the actors think, oh, they must be everywhere. But actually, you're just seeing the one close to where you live,
oh yeah,
and you just sort of extrapolate from that. We will find out later today.
Yeah.
You know what, Nick? You need to come to Ballally Lewis Stop. You know, it is probably the
You're
best
missing
Lewis stops in
out. You're
Dublin.
missing
Okay.
Do you get to talk to each other about, you said about other shows that you've been in? Because obviously you can bond with each other when you're on massive shows like this.
Yeah, again, I mean, this is what's so nice about actually doing the press, because it's like lovely to spend some time with Nick, because we were never in the same room. Which is, I suppose, quite an interesting way of doing it, because I am you and you are me.
Yeah.
So I suppose we shouldn't ever be seen in the same room. But yeah, I mean, it is nice and I suppose there is something quite similar about Ted Lasso and like Derry Girls, and like how it reached so many people and how niche it is at the same time.
And like Renegade Nell, like quite ensemble driven, and
absolutely,
but not just cast, cast and crew, it's sort of such a bond, and especially when you're on something, that resonates with people, has a good message behind it. I think a positive message, but also when you're on it for that long, they become your family, really. You see them more than your family sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I was closer to a lot of the crew than even some of the cast members, because they were in every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like me, where everybody else drips and drabs.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't wait for everyone to see this. It is a lovely piece of work. The both of you are come across so well in it. So more of it. We want more. That's the end of this, I think. Cheers, guys. Much. Thanks so much.
Bye. Good to see you later.
Louisa, thanks so much. My friend was he was off his bean, and he was like, brilliant. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, not at all.
Cheers, guys. Thanks so much. All right. All the best. Good luck. Bye-bye.